A disappointing Inferno for Sangal. Can they make amends here on Vertigo is the question. Starting over on that CT side of things, an opportunity to take the fight straight to this T side early as Corey swings down the ramp, but Movistar with that extra utility in their back pockets, not looking to face things just yet.
No, holding things off a little bit more passively. Maybe expecting this aggression around the ramp as well, because it is currently a 4-man stack. Again, it seemed like they were well prepared going into Inferno, so it's probably something they would have done before moving on towards Vertigo here as well, but they find the fight. It's going to be up close and personal with the Glock. How the hell does Sunbias do it on his own? I mean, he makes it seem like he's got no teammates around him. There was 3 players peeking him. He has a Glock, and he doesn't even manage to really take any damage throughout the entire fight. It is ridiculous, and Soulfly has got to do the same now, and he's pulled off 2, and with the help of QB, has suddenly given them a 2-on-1, but it's still Sunbias they're against. Despite the low health, at this point, I feel like I've still got to believe that he has a shot at it.
No armor either is making this fight very awkward indeed. Down to just 12 HP. Single bullet from these USPs will do it. He knows where QB is. He wants that fight. Drive spy to get one. And now Soulfly's position known as well. Headshot angle. But oh my goodness. Very nearly the ace for Sumpire. Soulfly finally able to put his man down. 3 kills for him in the pistol and 3 critical ones at that as well. Because just like you said, Dean, Sumpire's just charging up that ramp. Finds himself a triple out of absolutely nowhere. And that round very nearly derailed again.
It's just ridiculous. I don't know how he gets 3 kills in that position. I said the Glock's up close and personal were in a decent position, but the fact that he can flick between 3 of them that are all peeking him at the same time, just it shouldn't be possible. Nice kill by Soulfly though. He was one of the heroes there of that previous round, or was the hero rather. Pulling off an impressive 3k of his own. Most importantly, getting that final kill to stop the ace from coming in for Sunbias, because that would have been a demoralizing way to kick things off. That is a very adventurous peek in by Kyubi. Up against the Eco though, so with a flash from his teammate. It makes sense. Unfortunate though that he's not able to get away with his life. FAMAS at least shouldn't be recovered unless Corey gets caught now by this boost up. It looks like he's being at the very least cautious of it though. Oh, the weapon came through the wall. You seen that? There we go.
Oh, disgusting. Corey finds it.
Oh, I thought they fixed that in like 2016 or something.
Oh, they always say it's fixed, and then it always comes back to haunt us, doesn't it? Mopo's lost alive, being haunted by his 4 teammates as well, just looking for anything at all. FAMAS will be recovered by Corey, so this is pretty much exactly how you'd want the round to go if you're Sangal. The only perk would have been if you could have kept 5 alive, but 4 up, 2 MP9s, both rifles saved. That's a perfect little start. And as Movi start to pull out the firepower of their own, this is going to be the first real test for Sangal. Sumpires has his AWP, there's rifles across the board, and they're going for a little bit of a bonus round on the CT side. Neither of those MP9s would be being upgraded. They do grab a second M4, but they're down on firepower just a little bit here, Sangal.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it, but it's not really a bonus round, so if they lose this one, they're in trouble. And, well, more than confident to take that initial peek. Does it good bit of damage onto Sunbias on top of obviously picking up that initial kill onto Davey, so that's a really good start. One of the rifles, incredibly risky, because if they lose that M4, suddenly their buy looks pretty damn weak. But instead he gets away with a clean opening without even sustaining any damage at all himself. So they can slow it down, they can play into the strengths now of these weaker weapons, being the MP9s and the FAMAS, and just keep them up close, tucked in on the bomb sites and likely crossfires and such.
Yeah, just looked like the AWP was looking the wrong way there. Sumpires was holding for the aggression on the right-hand side. It comes from the left. Davy G, I think, was expecting a little more support than he got. Scrunk up close and personal, like you said, though, trying to take advantage of the strengths of this MP9. Tucked in on the catwalk. HE to go in as well. That'll do a nice bit of chip damage, but it does give his position away. Sumpires able to find at least 1 good return damage. As the M4 of Soulfly again looking to be the hero in this one. HE goes in. That'll chip even further away at that AWPer. Down to 10 HP. Very nearly into the single digits. As with 30 seconds left, the Movistar Riders just creeping their way up this A ramp. They've got 1 smoke left and that's it. This is not going to be a pretty take if they want to try and get up onto this A site. The bomb is still deep in the ramp with 20 seconds left. They have got to get a shift on Soulfly. If he can deny the bomb crossing at this point, that's round. That's GG. He'll hear them start to approach. Looks to go up on high. Deals with Sumpires at the very least. Bomb comes off the plant as he looks to trade his death, and that makes it even worse. They tap it again, but it's yet more frags. Deaths will find 1, but they got to dial it in now, and I don't even know if they've got time. They don't get it right. The clock is their worst possible enemy as Sangal steal a third round out of nothing.
Yeah, it's really off the back of, again, Soulfly doing so much from in on the back of the bomb site. And a few mistakes, I suppose, from Movistar, as you said, hopping off of that bomb plant instead of just sticking it out, presuming, I guess, that the player was coming over the top for the peek down, but he had cover, he had teammates that still would have been watching for it, so if they had have got the bomb down initially, suddenly they have a chance to maybe play out that after plant with still a couple players standing. An opening kill again from Koyubi. It's a full force buy as well that's come in here from, sorry, not a full force buy, but rather in the case of Deaths, I think he dropped the AK to Alex. So they do at least have a good bit put in towards this and are expecting to get a couple of kills, maybe even a bomb plant out of it. I think Davy G is about to find Skrunk as well. No, sorry, I thought he was pushing around the smoke. He actually fell back as the flash came in. So he will be okay for now. Molly gives his position away 100%, and Nade as well. He's been flushed out of ramp at the very least, and that just gives so much control to Sangal. So this is really a round now where if they struggle, I would be very confused because they have everything they need, which is all the info on towards A. Continuing with a bit of aggression out on towards B, just not expecting an AK, I guess, in play. Thinking easy eco frags.
Not quite the way it pans out, but it's a nice 1-for-1 trade at the very least. Keeps Sangal in the ascendancy. And as Soulfly finds yet another frag down the ramp, this time onto David G. This round really does start to fall apart. Alex and Deaths with a tech and a AK-47 just need a little bit more damage, you have to say. The investment into this one requires it. But with 35 seconds left, Sangal giving up absolutely nothing on this CT side. The aggression well timed when required, but they can pack it away just as easily. And with 25 seconds left, Soulfly tucked behind these sandbags. No Molotov to flush him out. Crossfire with Skrunk on that MP9 jumping for info as well. It'll be a free kill for Soulfly. Make it 2. Lovely stuff from Sangal as they get their 4th. And this is so much more like it. We saw them on Inferno struggling to really get anything going at all. They didn't have a chance to show us their CT side. And this is what they had in their back pocket. It could have been a very different story.
This is exactly what we said they needed it as well. Soulfly being the one to step up. He's at 10-1 already. Keeps this up, he could be breaking the, what was it, 26 kills and a half, I think that we've seen from Sunbias there in the previous map. Be a big task to ask, of course, but let's see. Sensei on the off as well. If he can get going, then this could be a very difficult CT side for Movistar to actually break through. It does seem like they've got things drilled out pretty well. Changing things up constantly as well is one thing that already needs to be noted. Even just the way that they're playing out mid in this round, trying to keep things different, just keep Movistar on their toes, really, which is something we've seen none of on Inferno, so it's really good to see.
Nice little change up. Skrunk again going to try and aggress down this ramp, and again, slight gap in the smoke. He abuses it willingly. And that pulls out a fight as well. So Pius will actually be able to wallbang Skrunk down, but now Sensei has got his man pinned into the corner. Soulfly gets another over towards mid, and suddenly this all falls apart. For a split second, it looked promising. Instead, it's a demolition. Mopo's trying to put the pieces back together, but at least managed to find one over towards this B bomb site, but the bomb is miles away, and Mopo's on low HP, can't be expected to hold for more than a few seconds. Pius now finally in position to do something, but he's decapitated. Soulfly on the rotation gets his 12th kill in 5 rounds. And this is starting to look like a completely different game to Map 1, Dean. Movistar looking a little lost on their T side at the moment as Sangal really stretching their legs.
This just might be the most CT-sided best of 3 we've ever seen. Within the last decade, at least. Used to get some nukes back in the day that were pretty one-sided, but yeah, this has been an interesting series so far. Movistar, again, they don't play this map a ton. Their most recent performance, I think, was against Ents. They lost that 16-2, and even then, that was about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, and it seems to always be 2 to 3 weeks between their performances again. So it's not a map that I guess they really get to put enough actual playtime into, even if they are putting that little bit of practice towards it. Because it seems like they have an idea of what they want to do. Sangal are just ensuring that they never really get a chance to actually let that plan pan out.
And now they have that opportunity, chance to stretch their legs for the plan to work. It is looking solid. A huge nade goes in.
3 of them were standing right under the window.
It's unfortunate, but, well, when it rains, it pours, right? More utility flying in. Isaac excuse me, Sensei spots 2, doesn't land any though, and that does start to open up this B site just a little bit. Davigi with 1, Corey desperately trying to hold on, but he's traded evenly as well. Looking for the miracle round on the side of the Movistar Riders. The bomb is out in no man's land, but Alex just about able to recover it as Sensei trades things down. Even 3-on-3 now. Molotov in. Sensei charging on through, finds another. And it's Mopoz once more trying to steady this ship, trying to find anything at all. But that bomb is in such a desperately awkward spot for this T side. They're going to have to fight for it. They have to brawl. Mopoz does just that. And he leaves Sampaias in the 1v1. No rifle for him, as he just about manages to scavenge the M4A1S, goes up on high, trying to set his angle, 40 seconds, spots the shadow, but he's got no armor, tagged up, aim punch brings him down to 26. And Soulfly knows he's just toying with his prey, 13-1, but it will be 13-2, as Sampaias takes advantage of a couple of missed shots and pulls a miracle round into the back pocket of the Movistar Riders.
Yeah, and the money isn't quite as strong as you'd maybe think it would be for Sangal either. They'll be able to buy, but I think QB needed a drop even. Everyone is going to fully invest into this round, so it's an opportunity for Movistar to break them and quickly get themselves up towards 3 at the very least. We did see something similar back on the previous map though. It was 5-0 and then 5-1 I believe in favor of Movistar, so we have everything kind of flipped on its head right now. Whether Sangal can trade it back as Movistar did is a different question. Does ABG see him? He does eventually. Soulfly, unfortunately, he's been relentlessly aggressive here around the ramp radar, and while it's been paying off for him in general, at this point Movistar, they're going to be expecting it. As you can see, this time he will be punished. An early advantage. Skrunk seems to want to try and move in and see if there's anything to be pulled back from it, and there is. He catches Davey just as he throws down the smoke, so into a 4-on-4. Not a terrible position for Movistar, but the problem is with only that one player being spotted on the ramp as well, there might be a bit of an idea as to what the plans are, or were at the very least, because they've changed at this point.
That's what I'd say. They flipped the script. Going to be going back towards that ramp, and now it becomes a question of timing. Sangal are just deathballing this. 3 players going to retake in towards mid, becomes 2 as the AWP will at least splinter off back towards this A site. Movistar Riders have gone quiet, hoping just to draw a little bit of confusion out of the CT side, but that utility is perfect. 45 seconds left. Molotov slows them right down. Corey and Sensei well placed in towards this A site. Skrunk placed perfectly for a fast flank as well. With 30 seconds left, this once again is going to get incredibly ugly. Skrunk goes for the drop. His timing could be everything here. Sensei just needs to hold the site, and he's got more and more support here. 3 players rotated in, 1 on the fast flank, and Skrunk surely not going to be held this time. Dets is looking for it, finds 1, but there's 15 seconds left. All of that time burned. Mopoz has to just charge on in, punch those numbers down. Sampaias sacrifices his life to make sure it can happen, and on low HP, Mopoz being spammed down. Alex takes a dink as well. It's an afterplant, but at what cost? Death's the only player left with health, and Mopoz stuck in the depths of this site. Has to hold this headshot angle, has to hope for an immediate kill. If he doesn't get one, it's done. He's being flanked out from the left. There's Sensei with 1. Deaths goes down next, and Alex on desperately low HP. There's nothing he can do. The USP of Sensei will get it done. The response is immediate from Sangal, and Movistar Riders victims of time once again.
Yeah, and then they didn't really play that afterplant all that well together, did they? I mean, the initial player just trapped in on the bomb site. You can't really do much about that, but maybe if you're at least ready to try and peek off of his contact with both of the players, it could work out. But obviously, you have one in towards the ramp, and then the other just tucked in towards the scaffold in a position where he was watching for flank, but just couldn't help with the actual play on the bomb site then. So it's unfortunate. 6-1 for Sangal. They're happy with the lead that they're building up for themselves. Again, the punishment over on ramp. It's a bit different this time with Skrunk being the man who gets put down in his efforts for control. But either way, a man advantage, which this time should be untraded, is something that Movistar can be happy with.
Different method, same result. Four on 5. First time in a while, Sangal have found themselves in this sort of a situation. And again, Movistar, they're not keen to up the pace whatsoever. Almost entirely abandoning the ramp. Davigi trusted to hold towards the scaffolding, and they're waiting for the retake that does at least look like it's going to come through. Soulfly, Corey, and Sensei lining up. But for now, just not over pushing the mark, and that's what Movistar were hoping for, and there it is. Just as I say it, the caster curse comes in. Alex grabs a second, and now 3 on 5. Movistar have just got to be smart about this. A group up and convert should be a clean enough round. Sensei knows he's got to be aggressive. Got to take the attention away from a mollied out Corey, who will get one. Sensei combines for the refrag, and as Mopoz at least trades it, it's still competitive in the 2-on-3. 30 seconds left on the clock. They're yet to get into either of these sites, and as much as Deaths is flanking, that bomb has still got to get somewhere now, and it's charging back down the ramp over towards this B site. Isaac, Sensei's footsteps should be heard. He'll get his head ripped off by Deaths in 14 seconds. They should be able to take this site. Kyubi knows he's got to deal with Deaths first of all, and as much as he manages that, it will concede the site. Nade onto Mopoz, not quite enough, but the tag will be converted, and Kyubi on 6 HP will look for a clutch of his own as Mopoz retreats towards the white boxes. Bomb down in his favor now. For the first time in a long time, that clock is working for the Movistar Riders, not against them. Mopoz just tucks himself in. Knows exactly what sound cues he's looking for. He'll hear that drop. The info is there for Kyubi. He tries to clear these close angles inside of the site. All this taking more and more time away from that needed defuse, though. And as Kyubi charges, the footsteps heard. He knows where to look for Mopoz, but he just can't find him. That clock just too low. Movistar Riders nab a second round off the back of that opening pick.
Yeah, I like the slowing it down. And yeah, as you said, I think you did curse it just a little bit. But no, it was an interesting one because, again, they kind of go for the one-man peek in for the retake rather than actually working off of each other, because they had the second player at least in as sandbags, but he's more of a bait, I suppose, for when they do actually start pushing forward. The other player who was initially around the crane didn't really help out too much. Either way, that round still completely breaks Sangal. They had fully reinvested into the round before that. They went out and took some damage, so the reinvestment then left them in this spot now where Corey even is on a double eco. So it's something they could be considering, but it doesn't. Oh, I was going to say it doesn't seem like they want to go for the force buy, but no, they do eventually in the end. A little bit of a discussion was had. There's deagles, there's a decent amount of nades behind it. We'll probably see something a bit more aggressive even. Scrunk hasn't got a pistol. There we go. I was going to say he still has money there, so it was a little bit late that he eventually gets that 5-7. But it's looking like, again, a fairly standard default from Movistar. That's what you get most of the time here on Vertigo. You don't see a lot of rushes. Alex has somehow already gotten himself an opening kill over on B as he probes around, knowing that they're not up against a lot. And as you said, take the second and maybe even a third. No, okay, they might want to go ahead and concede a little bit at this point. They don't really need to commit. They've still tons of time. They know they have the favorable weapons as well. Oh, they get a little...
Oh, no!
Didn't happen.
Disgusting. Scrunk takes full advantage on the 5-7 as well, and now we're in an even 3-on-3. A couple of big fights going against Movistar Riders. Rifle's recoverable as well. This starts to get ugly now. They wanted to up the pace into B. Now they go back, and Davi G just catches the timing. Sensei rounding the corner will go down. 55 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time to plan this execute out at the very least. It's going to be up to Soulfly to really get this one done. Scrunk, 12 HP. Just got to stay alive, just got to buy time, and that's exactly what he's doing at the moment. Soulfly on this backstab mission. Is he held will be the question. Some Pious for now is posted. Alex there with the AK-47, but they're juggling guns around, and that might open up a timing. Soulfly not biting. 30 seconds left. He's waiting for his teammate to take contact. There it is. Some Pious deals with him, and it's all on the shoulders of Soulfly. A 1v3. Davigi on low HP has the bomb. Maybe an opportunity there as Soulfly beheads Alex for the first. Some Pious on full HP will take the contact tight, and he'll deal with him as well. It's an awkward round. The force buy very nearly finds purchase, but Movistar Riders get away with it. They keep 2 players alive at the very least, and now they have an eco to start farming up some cash.
Yeah, it gets a little close. Still, though, I mean, they survived well enough. The 2 players, considering now, as you said, that they're up against the eco, shouldn't be too big of a deal as long as they can keep all 5 standing here, preferably. Especially since they do have rifles across the board against USP, as you'd expect them to. Again, though, the peeking towards B shows them numbers. This time, though, there's no resistance to actually come through. Mopoz mows them all down. It's 4 kills. The final player I thought was about to be spotted by Deaths. They redeemed themselves for that previous round. Thing that we shall not speak of. Maybe he catches one. Mopoz is low. Oh, that was his opportunity. If he landed one on the head right there, maybe an AK. Perhaps gets 1 or 2 more kills, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Deaths will get himself the 1 kill, and it's going to be 6-4. Considering it was 5-0, and then 5. Sorry, yeah, 5-0, and then even 6-1. You've got to say Movistar are doing a decent job now at recovering this, but whether they can keep this going and grind out even 2 more gun rounds just to make it a decent T-side, that's what we're wondering. And if they can take this one, then a 6th should already come their way.
Should being the key word, though, because they've ran it close a couple of times here, the Movistar Riders. And this round is by no means a guarantee. Mopos doing what he can. We'll be able to find one onto QB, but Death's trade makes it a little bit awkward if we're really honest. Mopos down on 11 HP, loses a full HP teammate in response. Almost funnels them again, the Movistar Riders, in towards this A-site hit. Just trying to get any kind of control that they can. Not being given much of anything yet. Soulfly wanting more aggression, charging round, spots out one over the top of the molly, can't quite connect. David G looking for the trade, and there's 2 players there, but he whiffs the spray. Soulfly able to capitalize, and once again, it's a man advantage, near enough too with the HP of Mopos for the Sangal boys, and they're in a perfect position just to start fighting back on that CT side now.
Looks like they're considering some aggression around Ali here on A. Not sure if it'd be a great idea. Either way, though, not a lot of info really being had by the CT. Sure, they have their advantage, but they're holding things other than on A, rather, pretty passively. And I guess that's why they wanted the info as to whether it was still the A commitment or not. They found it out. They've extended their advantage in the meantime, and now it's only Mopos and Sunpius that are left standing. Only really Sunpius. Mopos is hobbling along, as you can see. He's crept his way through mid, though, so maybe he catches a player off. No, I think he himself might actually be caught now. Sunpius has gotten a kill in the meantime. Mopos had have found some success. Maybe hope would have been there, but unfortunately, both players get caught off guard and shot in the back. It's 7-4. Sangal managed to grind back out another round, but again, the money's still there from Movistar. They have the chance to do as they did before, bounce back, force another eco out of Sangal, get a 2-for-1 off the back of it, and put themselves into a decent position potentially.
Just not quite to be. 7-4, as you said, starts to hang in the balance on these rounds. The full investment comes in from the Movistar Riders. Every penny thrown at it. If this one goes wrong, it starts to look like a very solid half for Sangal. A ramp to be contested, at least initially, and look at the aggression from this CT side. Proactive on the B hold. Gonna make absolutely sure they know just what's coming. QB and Corey combining well. Davik forced up this ramp. There's a nice timing onto Soulfly, but the flashbang in is even better. He doubles it. Davik and Alex gone in the blink of an eye. And again, this round, before it's even begun, just chopped down by Sangal. The aggression on their CT side is relentless. And the Movistar Riders, they don't have an answer for it at the moment. They've tried waiting. They've tried waiting out the play, seeing if they can get into the site late in the round. They've been punished for that by the clock. They try going quicker up the ramp. The aggression is well timed by Sangal to take advantage. It's a cheeky smoke play from Mopos. He gets one, but he can't quite adjust for the second. And at this point, a 2-on-4 B site on absolute lock. They know where this is going, and Soulfly taking full advantage down the lane, finds Deaths to leave Sunpius, the hero of map 1. 1v4 with so much to find, gets at least the first, but with just 30 seconds left, he hasn't even got time to work his way into this round. He's just thinking about maybe saving that AWP.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only hope at this point. Should be able to pull it over. I don't think anyone's really going to hunt them, considering the economy of Sangal. They've got Sensei with barely any money in his own up, and then you have an AK on Corey that you don't really want to throw away either. No money on QB to really justify it either, so I think he'll be okay. But on the other hand, this team, not as much. It's going to be 8-4. Sangal are finding some of their form once again here on the CT side. They will stabilize their economy a tiny bit off the back of this as well, since both of the other players have enough to buy for themselves. While on the other hand, even with the op being carried over here, the economy isn't really there for Movistar. They get $2,400 loss bonus, so it's likely they will take the 1 eco. Maybe the op somewhat pushes them into buying here, but I don't think that would really be a great idea at this stage. So you just get a few pistols in behind it, and it's going to come down to Sunpius hopefully finding some early openings. Worth noting, looking at the scoreboard here, Sunpius and Mopos are giving a decent shot at it, but no one else really showing up to the same degree.
Just getting picked off at the edges, you have to say. Sunpius trying to make that AWP sing. Will be able to get an early kill. Frags out onto Corey. He's got a smoke as well, which potentially would allow for that rifle to be recovered. Give them a little bit more to work with into this round. Doesn't seem too keen on using it, however. instead going to be boosted up. Or is he thinking about it? Changes his mind initially. Now he wants to go back with the molly in to combine. We'll be able to get up on top of these boxes. Takes the mid control away. The counter is there though. Kyubi up high. Doesn't land his shot. And as much as Soulfly deals with one of the pistols, the AWP is still up and kicking. A big second kill. Finally, he's put down. But it's Sensei alone in towards this B site. The recovered rifle's doing a lot of work here. Mopo's going to get quick scope down, though, and it's falling apart once again. Alex left in the 1v3. A missed shot from the AWP will open him up at least into that. But it's 1v2. The bomb is dropped inside of the site this time, which gives Alex a little bit more to work with, but he wants to be cheeky. He wants to play around his own smoke, and Soulfly is wise to his tricks. A 9th round for Sangal, a little rougher than they would have liked, but they're getting it done regardless. And given how dominant Inferno was, to get 9 rounds on your CT side of Vertigo, that's an achievement in and of itself.
Yeah, on your opponent's map choice as well. As you said, it has been impressive. I didn't mind the idea there to try and force the issue in the 1-on-2 at the end. It's just a little bit unfortunate he got spotted. Soulfly is 22-8, as I said, trying to give a challenge to the half we've seen from Sunpius on Inferno, and he's doing a very good job at it, followed by Sensei, who's on 12, 10 kills less than him. It's a bit of a ridiculous performance right now. We'll see, though, if it keeps up or not. It's 2 final rounds here in the half, which, if Movistar could take, would send them from having what is a pretty bad half right now into a decent one that could very quickly be turned around and even brought into a very close game off the back of just winning the pistol round. So it's a pretty crucial one here for Movistar to win out, and you realize that, I guess, with how much they've slowed things down and they're taking their time, I suppose, to work out how exactly they do want to approach this round. Really, the hope is a mistake is going to be made by Sangal, but so far we're really not seeing them play as aggressive as they have in some of the previous rounds.
This is the problem. They seem to be able to turn off the tap at perfect moments. They cut the aggression out just as the Movistar Riders start waiting for it, start expecting it, and then right when they don't, it comes back out refreshed and revamped. So with 43 seconds left, there's really no control at all for the Movistar Riders. They're still queued up in towards mid as the pop comes through. It's going to be the B split once more, but this time Sangal are more than ready for it. Alex goes over, that's the bomb. Out in no man's land with 30 seconds left. How do you even begin to recover this? Death's doing what he can, but they're so isolated, these fights. It's 1v1s across the board. Sunpius with a big deagle shot, and Davig will double it. That might be just what they need here. 16 seconds left on the clock as they try and charge on through. They've still got to get that damn bomb, and Scrunk is locking it down like a madman. A double kill as Mopos at least trades for 1, but with 5 seconds left, there's not even time to plant here. That's it. It's done. Sensei knows it, doesn't have to take the fight, and that's double digits on the CT side for Sangal.
It's unfortunate because he presumed Sensei would have ran away already at that stage, but he wasn't even far away. If he had peeked out into mid initially there, instead of running back a little bit, he might have seen him, because he only missed him by like a millisecond or whatever, and if he went up onto the boost, he also probably would have seen him and had a chance at the fight. It really was the only option at that stage, but yeah, he was about a second or so short of being able to get a bomb plant in. It's unfortunate. It leaves Movistar now in a bit of a predicament in the final round here with some Galils, 1 AK and a couple pistols. Try and deny Sangal from taking an 11-4 half, which honestly was just unimaginable after what happened on Inferno. I did not expect anything like this to go down. If we get Mirages to Decider, that's the map we thought could be close.
Scrapping their way back into this series. Kicking and screaming.
Soulfly feels at home on ramp as well, it seems.
23-9. Replicating the antics of Sunpius on map 1, you have to say. It's just dominant. And at the moment, there's really no answer for the Movistar Riders. They've tried everything. Isolated success in amongst a sea of failures. Mopos lurking with the bomb on his back. Over towards this B site, trying to see if he can maybe get something done. Nothing seen yet. And again, it's going to be this mid-B split. They've been very fond of this. This time there's defense available. Sensei, the primary on that AWP, misses his initial shot, but has the utility to fall back and reset. Baits them into the awaiting arms of Corey as well. This is going to go from bad to worse. He's waiting for it. He knows exactly what's coming his way. Sensei deals with the ramp play. Now Corey smokes himself off. Was expecting a molly that didn't quite come through the smoke. The spam will connect, but it doesn't matter. Soulfly and Sensei provide the kills. Death, the last to go to his death. A nice shot, but it's quickly traded. 11-4 at the half. Dominance from Sangal as they look to push us to Mirage after the break. Well, this is a series that's flipped on its head. Dominance flipped the other way round as we head into an 11-4 half in favor of Sangal on map 2. A CT side for Movistar Riders that needs to click and click quickly at that as they are charging Sangal up the ramp. 4 players blinded up, no frags found, and they are charging into this A site. Sensei and Soulfly make it a 2-for-1 trade, and Mothboz is looking isolated. He knows he's got to cover 2 angles at once. He stays in the fight for a split second too long. Death does what he can, keeps it competitive in the 2-on-3 at the very least. Soulfly down on 14 HP will have to retreat. There is a kit in the middle of the site as well, and that maybe, just maybe, starts to bait them into this retake.
Yeah, it does look like they were interested, but I don't think they're being given much of a decision here. Davy G is now left alone as Soulfly neutralizes another one of his teammates. That's been a trend throughout this game so far. And it's really just about hoping to maybe pick 1 or 2 off at this point. Winning is, I don't think, really going to happen anymore. Should be peeked in by the player on the ramp, and that's Soulfly to take himself a fort. I think he's up to like 27 now, is 28. So he ended the half on 24. Wasn't quite what we've seen Sun Pius on, but he's already gone ahead and run himself up to 2 kills off what we've seen him end the previous map on. So this has been just a ridiculous performance from Soulfly. Not something you can rely on every game, but with him performing like this, the team just seems to be coming together incredibly well. And on the other hand, Movistar just do not have the same level of comfort that they had on Inferno as a team or individually.
It's a complete flip. 12-4 down, Mirage coming their way in a map that we said feels pretty evenly balanced between these 2 rosters, statistically identical. Unless Movistar Riders can pull off the impossible here, can start to place themselves, start to steady the ship, because that momentum has very much flipped on its head. The Eagles, MP9's limited utility. The HEs chip away, sure, but it's not quite enough. David G's looking for the boost up. Spots out 2, lines them up, knocks them down. Wallbang headshot onto the second, but they won't mind quite how the frags come as long as they do indeed come. QB trying to stabilize. We'll find 1 back onto Alex to keep it competitive in the 3-on-4. Firepower advantage still there, but with 50 seconds left, can they overwhelm this A site?
That's the question. I mean, if Movistar get this round, this could be their chance to start building a comeback. It's a bit earlier than when Sangal started theirs on Inferno as well. It's not on 14 already, so you have that bit of security, that bit of room to work with. So this would be the ideal time to come alive. And they do. AVG's initial 2 kills proud and converted into a round win. Corey's creeping forward. They have the smokes on the bomb side, but this can actually play against you sometimes when these pistols are in play. It allows them to isolate the initial player on Ali. While they will eventually have some trades coming back, it still comes down to the one-on-one, and that is with the health very slightly in favor of the of Deaths here.
Time's his friend.
53, and yeah, as you said, if this bomb is going to be stuck, it has to be done just that. He expects it to be a flank, I think. Yeah, plant's open. Will just about get the bomb plant in, which is an extra $800 each, which is going to be a massive help considering their economy. But the main thing is, for Movistar, they steal the round away. It's close. It comes down to the one-on-one. So they can be happy as they get a bit of a lifeline.
It was a must-win series, you have to say. A must-win round. They get it done, and that's the important thing. Like you said, it goes down to the wire, though, and with that bomb plant, it does open up the opportunity for Sangal. The force buy will look to come in. The AK available for Corey. It's not going to be smooth sailing just yet for the Movistar Riders, who need to mount an incredibly impressive CT side if they are to take this in 2. And they are to recover their map pick. Alex looking to swing down this ramp, clearing the early angles. The Molotovs and utility are good from Movistar. You can see they're drilled. Taking that control away freely. Should allow for these rotations to start coming through. They've taken full A ramp control at this point. Smoke goes in just to refresh that. And with the bomb stuck in mid for now, Corey really is the man at the moment for Sangal. If he can get an entry on that AK, this becomes viable. If he goes down freely, it gets very ugly.
Well, Mopaz will find the opening. It was a shaky one, to say the least. He had been blinded up the entire time. It's a very committed angle from Sunpius on mid as well. He has the backup, but it wasn't ready in time. And it somehow allows Corey to get that second kill. A trade in on the bomb site as well as Corey pops off. And suddenly, Movistar's heads begin to pop off as well. It's going to give room for the bomb plant in a 2-on-2 now, which unfortunately leaves Sensei without a weapon and with Corey being low, but it's still a much better position than we would have expected. They have a shot of converting this. And it's
isolated fights.
Group split up as well. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Moppo's coming up the ramp. He might be able to catch a timing. Should see the backpack of Sensei. Oh, he does just about adjust the angle well. The low HP bars will come back to haunt them. Moppo's on 2 HP finds the double. But like you said, Dean, that very nearly was an incredibly different picture. The fact that they managed to get those 2 CTs so split, so isolated. If Sensei hits one drive-by Tech-9 headshot, that's a completely different round. A 1v2, Alex out in no man's land, but they just about managed to get that one over the line. It's still not going to get any easier. Force buy immediately comes through from Sensei. There's going to be 2 AKs this time coming up against them. Movistar Riders, they are not making this easy for themselves, to say the least.
No, it's a bit of a dangerous round. It's honestly though, it could work in their favor if they don't let it happen again here. The fact that round ended up being so close and that the bomb went down obviously has baited Sangal into another buy here, and it's a pretty decent one in fairness because they have a couple AKs. If they wanted, they could even drop an AK and have one player just go with a pistol without Kevlar, as they have done a couple times in those second rounds. I don't think that'll be the play though. Probably some pistols and a few extra nades on top of it, but potentially now, if Movistar can take this round, if they can stop the bomb from going down, if they don't lose more than a player or 2, then they're against an eco, maybe some pistols just in the next round. Suddenly they're up towards 8, and then the next gun round can bring them even onto double digits, and suddenly you're thinking, okay, they're in this game. So you can see the path forward. Can they manage to get themselves on it now is the question, and overcome what could still be a very dangerous round here.
They need the confidence, if nothing else, that they can get past these kind of half buys. It's going to be the B pop from Sangal. 4 players queued up. Scrunk alone over on A, just dropping enough util to keep the CT side busy. And dropped plenty of it as well, hoping that that fools Movistar Riders into thinking there's more presence than there really is. And here we go, 1 minute and 10 left on the clock as they start to work their way in towards this B ramp. For now, Deaths, the lone defender of B. He does have Davy G on a fast rotate, but he's isolated and he's playing a very off angle here. Looking to take multiple fights at once, and Corey rips his head clean off. B side wide open for the take-in. Davy G scrambling to get in, but the flashes are too good. Kyubi doubles the advantage, and as Sunpius's molly goes down, it'll deny the plant, sure. But does it even tempt them back into this 3-on-5? The half buy again has cracked it open, and you can see Movistar Riders are conceding. They've got no choice. They left the B-bomb site shallow guarded, and they got their heads ripped off. No choice but to save these rifles. The economy has been precarious time after time. They don't have the cash to be throwing them away at these kind of rounds, so it will be 13 for Sangal, just 3 rounds away from forcing that deciding map.
Corey seems to have come awake as well. Come awake rather since getting that AK into his hands. You've got to say, was a little bit quieter in the first half. Maybe just because of the fact that there wasn't too many kills to go around with Soulfly taking them all. But yeah, around that Movistar really could not afford to lose. They hadn't built up their economy, obviously, because of the damage in that previous round. That's what Sangal were hoping to capitalize on, and they've done it in a perfect way, keeping all 5 of their own players standing now as well. I mean, you can't even see full rifles being dropped. A couple of FAMASs maybe at best are given to Dets and Davy G. They'll try their best, obviously, but if this is the full force buy, then it's pretty much all in. Lose this, suddenly it's 15 for Sangal before you have the guns again, and at that stage you're fighting for an overtime, needing 9 rounds in a row. So yeah, map 3 is looking more and more likely. And again, I wouldn't complain about seeing map 3, statistically the closest map between the two. But I'm not going to fully count out Movistar quite yet. They're having a little bit of a chat right now about what they need to do. And again, it's still within reach that they could break Sangal. Take this one, while there is still enough for one more buy there for Sangal, it'd maybe have a couple weaknesses to it.
There's an opportunity, sure, but it still doesn't fully open the door. 6 rounds to the wrong side of things if they get this one. And it's not a good look for the CT side either. Like you said, FAMASs for Davy G and Deaths. Not the guns they would have wanted. He will take the early fight this time, Davy G, and he will win it out as well. Corey, for the first time in a long time, goes down early, and Deaths actually able to double it. More aggression over towards that B site. Seems to be the order of service. Davy G on half HP is going to push through once more, and this is more like it, Movi. Taking the fight to the T side, rather, seems to be the way to go. As a man advantage becomes 3 very swiftly. Soulfly surely not going to expect this boost, but he's managed to dodge it. Just about managed to tuck himself in and get past, and that may lead to him getting a free double here. They're not expecting him that close, so he mows them down. That's the A site taken out of absolutely nothing. Soulfly has shifted his way to success. The bomb will make its way around, and with Deaths on 9 HP, Davigi on 35, this could be it. He could have just opened this round single-handedly, Dean.
Honestly, he's opened up this game single-handedly. He's been the one that gave them the initial charge of rounds, and it's just always been there when they need someone to push a little bit more and take a couple of kills, as we just seen. The retake, it's not there health-wise for Movistar. They don't have too many nades, just a single smoke. There's no kit either. This is going to be incredibly difficult despite having the numbers advantage. The bomb's already taken away. If they don't get someone on this soon, Deaths has actually picked up the kit, but he's on 9 health. The bullets aren't landing. Oh, he hasn't been able to stop it, but eventually he will. It was cutting it close for sure. He must have been maybe a second or so at max off of that defuse. But it doesn't matter. It's going to be a round for Sangal. Despite them being outnumbered, outmatched 2-on-5, somehow Soulfly and Sensei are able to get it done in the end. That's just summing up this game as well, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. You've got Sangal, who went from just not looking on their game at all in that previous to being on point right now, and it's just vice versa for Movistar. It's honestly bewildering how a team can go from performing like Movistar were on Inferno to this.
The clock, which had so often been their friend, is once again their enemy. And like you said, it's just a complete flip of the script. No kind of resistance, no offensive. Nothing from the Movistar Riders boys here in map 2. This is their map pick, and well, Scrunk this time opens up. Will be traded in short shift. And Davigi will at least find one more, but Kyobi's read the flank, and now they know that that's their B player, that's their B anchor death, so the rotation will surely be scrambled. Mopos trying to charge on in on this Deagle, hoping maybe just to catch somebody a little off guard by the timing. Tucks himself behind, waits for it, spams away, but nothing's connecting, and that really does sum up the Movistar Riders as Corey finds another onto some pies. Nothing going their way here on map 2. It will be 15. Davy G, he'll cower away into the depths of Vertigo, as far away from that B site as he can possibly hide himself, and hope to live with that AK-47 to fight another day. It's 15. It's 9 map points for Sangal. They are pushing us to Mirage very, very swiftly.
Yeah, I mean, again, just looking so dominant. I don't really know how else to break it down. The weapons weren't there, though, for Movistar, so kind of expected in this round, and the problem is they'll be on the same buy pretty much in this next round. By the AK that's been saved over, that'll actually be really useful. No one obviously hunting, as we can see here, so that at the very least will be allowed to be carried over. I think that's Sangal saying, yeah, we don't really care if you save a weapon at this stage. It hasn't been good enough in the previous rounds to stop us. And yeah, Mirage right in front of us now. Almost confirmed that I'd like to see maybe a few rounds being taken by Movistar, similar to what we had said we wanted out of Sangal, and that did obviously help them build up a bit of confidence, it seems, coming into this map. It's actually a bit better than I expected. Mopo's even has an M4 and some nades behind it. It got dropped over, I believe.
But they've lost a man already. Again, it's this B-bomb site. It's a leaky tap for the CT side, and they cannot stem the flow. David G drafted in to see if he can get something going, but he's down to 37 HP, and Kyubi may well be able to spot him as well. If he pushes even a little bit further, in fact, Kyubi could see him. I think if he had the right graphics settings, he'd be seeing right through those rafters and would have a free kill, but he's going to back off instead. Regardless, the man advantage is there. There's damage onto a second player, and you can see Sangal know what to do. Group up, death ball. You've got Soulfly knocking on the door of 32 kills. He'll want a few more before this series is up, and he's going to lead the charge up the A ramp as well.
Yeah, I mean, how successful he's been, you may as well have him in the front of the pack. It hasn't seemed to have stopped him from getting multiple entries in the past. And, well, this time he's going to be caught off guard by the Sandbags player despite the molly. Coming away with 2 kills there from Mopos is huge. Even 1, I think, would have been a good result considering the molly. Oh, this is an interesting one. Corey actually is holding for this aggression. Sunpius realized that there likely would be someone coming back potentially, or someone holding. He just didn't expect it to be out on this side, so that leaves B open. And unfortunately, even though there is a rotation quickly from Davey G, he's low health. He only just now gets in position, and, well, he gets the kill on Corey somehow.
Bomb's going back again. We're playing Ring of Roses, and Alex with a CZ could shut this down. 13 seconds. Nobody's going to be looking his way. Nobody's going to have a clue. He taps away at the planter. 8 seconds. The clock will finally be his friend as he doubles it on the CZ. Movi with the miracle. A little bit of magic from Davi G over towards that B-bomb site finally nets them the round. It was one that they shouldn't have been winning by any stretch of the imagination, and that's really been the tale of their CT side. Little miracle rounds. It's been the tale of Vertigo, if we're honest. They need to string a hell of a lot of them together to force OT here. 8 map points still available for Sangal. And they're still going to be buying into this one as well. That economy just too well established as David G knows he's got to take the fight to Sangal and does. Big opening kill onto Kyobi down the B ramp.
And a kill from Mopos elsewhere is going to actually give them a 5-on-3. It's Movistar waking up a little bit, probably too late or potentially too late. But still, it is nice to see some good damage at the very least done onto Sensei there before he's actually able to get that kill for himself. And a lone Scrunk wandering up the ramp is going to be caught by 2 aggressing CTs. So yeah, that's a 4-on-2. This round should be all but secured for Movistar, but we've already seen some crazy rounds, so I'm not going to count out these 2 buys. Corey is, as I mentioned as well, really come alive on the second half. I think he was probably not even on double digits or just about on double digits coming into the half. I'm pretty sure he was below it though, considering he's on 17 now, and he's been doing a great job. They've already decided on the save, it seems, considering Sensei's chilling back in the spawn there. Corey's going to position himself a bit more forward in case they come towards them. But yeah, we're going to have a bit of quiet time here, it looks like, Wolfie.
Opportunity just to chill, take stock of the situation. As Movistar Riders will have their 8th round. It does look like they've woken up, but you do have to question how they managed to fall asleep. 16-6 was the score on map 1. They were firing on all cylinders. Some Pius dropped a 30 bomb. And apparently at that point they decided they were good. That was it. They'd done their fragging for the day and they were going to go have a nap, because it really did open the door coming into Vertigo. We said it when we were looking for Silver Linings, that it's a map that individuals can rip away from you. That's exactly what Soulfly has done. 32-14. It's been a one-man army, has dragged them back into so many rounds single-handedly. And with 7 map points still available, and like we said, that comfortable middle ground of Mirage offering itself up as a decider if required, Sangal will know one more round and they have put themselves in with a real chance of stealing this series. And don't forget, this is the ESCA Advanced promoted Sangal. This is their first season in Challenger League in a while. This is the Movistar Riders who went 5-0 in the groups of ESL Pro League, beating players, beating Liquid, beating Big, for heaven's sake. And Sangal are taking them to the sword here on Vertigo in a major way.
Yeah, I mean, again, the map they've only played 4 times in the past 3 months, and it tends to be a couple of weeks at least or so between those performances. And it is very mixed results, so maybe we shouldn't be as shocked as we are, but it's just one of those situations where you have Movistar Riders and you think they should be able to really take anyone at this level with how they've been performing as of late. But we're out of the pause. We're back into the action. 7 rounds now needed in a row, rather, for Movistar if they want that overtime. Another couple at the very least, I think, would be confidence-inspiring for them before they move on towards Mirage. But it gets to a stage where you get so close as well that you know the comeback is within reach and it's no longer confidence-inspiring if you're to lose out. So at this stage, they might be aiming for the straight-up win, of course. That's always there in your mind. Well, no matter what, you should be aiming for the win. But from my perspective.
Always. We're professionals here.
See, we have to be reasonable, but if you're the one in that position, you should always have faith that you can get out of it and you can get back into the game. It's the only way you can make it happen. It's as much a mental game as it is, I guess, a physical one with your arms. Oh, we'll the flash. Peak, he's screwed. There we go.
I was about to say, we'll have to see who's got the mental. It's not going to be Davy G, because his brain's against the back wall. Opening man advantage once again for Sangal. Even with the lackluster firepower, the tech on Scrunk, the Deagle in the hands of Kyubi, they find themselves this early man advantage. They can look to leverage it again. Sensei, he's asking for the boost here. He wants to get up on this angle. You can see the AWP is aware of it, Sunpius, and he will be able to find the frag, but that rifle very much recoverable. Kyubi the next to pick up the mantle and look for a little bit more. Playing around these boxes, Sunpius. If he peeks wide, he'll be in trouble. There's plenty of crosshairs waiting, but full blind, it won't matter. Still deals with Soulfly. Corey, at least to trade, and Sunpius gets too keen. He goes back for more, and Kyubi takes him down. Mopos and Deaths again left scrambling at the coalface to try and make this round stick. 2 on 3. Mopos is stuck inside of the site. Nothing he can do. Deaths will get 1, but they know where he is. He's down on half HP. The bomb is on the floor, and that is it. We will need Mirage to break these teams